Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever wondered why when you draw creatures, or people for that matter, you may feel like you have a good grasp on anatomy, but for some reason something feels off. You can't pinpoint it, but every time you look at your creatures and you look at the body parts, you're going, something is missing and I can't figure out what is going on with the body and why it looks too stiff or more like a cartoon than it looks real. So I'm here to tell you we're going to be talking about connection points. So what is a connection point? So when beginner artists start out with creature design, let's just give an example of a back leg. Okay, so instead of going into detail about thigh muscles and knees and all of that, sometimes the leg is just really smooth, and then all of a sudden at the very end there's a knee-jerk reaction to change the direction and just have feet. Okay, and it looks something like this. If you're going for the cartoony look, then this doesn't apply to you. However, there is realism that you can apply to cartoons with this lesson today if you want to bump it up a notch. So what happens is there's the body part of the thigh and the calf, and everything is connected. There's no difference in the surface. And all of a sudden you have this appendage growing off of it, while the connection point just looks cookie cutter, almost as if you unintentionally ignored how those two body parts connect. So I'm here to say that this little problem or this error can easily be fixed if you want to go the more realistic route. Now, if you look over here to this strange finger, I guess you can call it, or a talon on the end of a very long appendage, you'll see that these three main joints right here, including the nail coming out of here, are the connection points. Now, if I were to draw this leg again, I'll show you how to do it in a much more realistic manner. So if you have your sketchbooks right now, get those out, sketch along with me. And the great thing about this is you're just learning, everybody. What we're doing today is not going to be a masterpiece. It's not going to be some major card illustration or anything for your portfolio. This is for you and you only to get better and to have them be daily practices. Let's look at the leg, the thigh. So a connection point obviously would be the knee, correct? Because you have, the patella, you have all of the cool ligaments and tendons, the femur connecting to the different parts of the knee, and so on and so forth. And also, I'm not going to be throwing at you crazy anatomical terms either. So let's do the thigh, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go to the end of the thigh and we're going to kind of make a kneecap up specifically for this creature. Okay, so I'm just going to make it come out a little bit. Now, having small little directional changes and little lumps where joints would exist, that immediately elevates the design because it gives us, the viewer, the notion that, oh, there's actually a working mechanical joint underneath all of that skin and muscle and fur or whatever else is on there. Even if you don't know anatomy, you might not know all the tendons and the ligaments and how the calf muscles and the femur and whatever else is in the leg attached to each other. Okay, so after we get this in, then we can start adding the lower portion of the leg. Now, we're just kind of making a leg up, so some of these shapes are going to be made up in real time, and I'm going to show you how to add the anatomy into those little directional changes. Okay, so let's say the thigh is pretty long. All right, now, the reason I'm going out and then back in is to show muscle mass contracting right in that area, but also housed in that area. We want big muscles for the thighs, and then it gets smaller as it gets towards the knee. Okay, now this right here, this is a connection point. Now look at all these subtle little directional changes. We have 1, we have 2, it dips back in, and then it gets to the shin bone again and the muscles that happen on the leg. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 different directional changes just for the knee. Automatically, this looks more functional and more realistic than this kneecap. Okay, let's continue. So let's do something fun here. Let's say that this calf or whatever it is really long. Great. We can also make up some of this anatomy too. So let's just move my sketchbook down a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to be stretching this down, and guess what? I'm going to have to get skinny again towards the ankle. So another thing is, unless your creature is deliberately stocky and you can't really tell where the muscles end and the joints begin, again, in the more cartoony sense, and you want to get more technical with it in the joints, you're going to have to get skinnier, because even if you're making these muscles up for the leg, these muscles end to attach to those ligaments. Okay, so then there are parts where there are no muscle at all. Here's another directional change or connection point. Okay, maybe this is the heel, it's pretty high up. Notice what I'm doing here. Look at all these directional changes that happen in just that area. The shin bone came in. There's one direction. All of a sudden, a 45-degree angle going down, that's another connection. And then the direction goes back out this way. So there's three happening right in there. Same thing can be happening out here, but even more so. So we have what would appear to be this creature's Achilles tendon. So we have the calf coming in, put a little arrow, and then the tendon going straight, this shape coming out, which could be the ankle or the heel or whatever you want it to be. So that's three. Then it goes back in, and then it straightens out. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different directional changes in this connection point. Okay, and then you can kind of build off of this as you go. Maybe you don't want a long foot. Okay, so maybe the foot will change, and guess what, everybody? We're on another connection point again. So instead of going straight down and then back out and then putting a nail on there, that usually wouldn't exist in nature, that perfect 90-degree angle. Instead, this 45-degree angle that I put on this foot, guess what? It's countered with another one. It's going back out where the metatarsals would be in the foot. You know, you got your tendons under there, and then you have the toe knuckle, straight part of the toe, and then guess what? The end where the nail would grow out, and then you have the nail. So look at all those cool little directional changes I have. These tiny little bits really add to the realism of your creatures. And listen, everybody, I'm just doing this for the leg and the foot. You could do this for your creature from head to toe, okay? It doesn't have to be something with a foot that looks like this either. It could be something completely different. So let's move it over here next to this, this claw. Let's say you have a very strange body part, okay? So let's say you have this almost membrane attached to a wing, okay? And it's smooth looking, okay? There's no hard joints to it. It's almost like a creature that has a melted membrane look. Fine. Let's see up here where you can put the equivalent of a shoulder in, okay? And then maybe this is the elbow right here. Well, if you don't want it totally smooth, maybe you can put some skin wrinkles in there and then some small bumps to show that the skin is bending in that part. All right, fair enough. Let's keep going. So let's say at the end of here, you're going to get some really funky looking fingers. Let's say that it kind of walks on its knuckles. Okay, so we have the end of the arm, the carpal bones in there. So you have to imagine all of this area right here housing the small carpal bones, and then you have the hand growing off of that. Do you see these connection points? A lot of times, and this happens in figure drawing a lot, where people will draw the forearm. Okay, so there's the forearm. Okay, there's your brachialis. There's your elbow. Okay, and then you got your bicep. I'm just showing this in context, so you know what I'm doing. Okay, there's the tricep and everything. All right, so once we get down to the bottom, what happens is people just immediately dart out with fingers when they forget that the connection point is actually at the wrist. So it protrudes a little bit, it goes back in, and then the hand comes out. So this little area right here can make a very believable wrist joint, and the same thing happens with ankles. But let's go back to our weird curved creature right here. So let's say that that's not a connection point right there. It's just a very bended bow-like bone. But the connection point would need to be up here at the shoulder. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some directional changes as if there's multiple muscles all compiled into this one small area. And maybe on top of this smooth part, I'm going to have another one. So there's 2 bumps. Now I just made that anatomy up. This is one of the most beautiful things about being a creature designer. You can just make this stuff up. However, you need to make each made up part functional and believable. You can't just put a bunch of lumps in there and just pretend it's going to work. Okay, it has to at least seem like it will work. All right, so let's see what we can do with these fingers down here. Bend them up like this. Okay, and then we have the other one in the back, and then maybe that one's a little longer. Okay, but look at all these directional changes and these connection points we have. All right, so connection point. Down here at the knuckles, there's another one. I even have different shapes on these knuckles. Let me make one a little bigger so you can see it. Okay, so a larger part of the connection points down here. So let's have the wrist coming down. Okay, direction change number 1, 2, 3. There's the flat ground. Okay, or you can call those knuckles, whatever you want to call them. Okay, there's the split. Okay, so directional change right here. So we got 1 coming out. Let me move this up a little bit so we can see it. Okay, and then 2. So we got 1, actually more than that. So we got 1, 2, 3, and then 4 lifted up. 5, 6, all the way down. So you can keep counting and you can squeeze the fingers in there and everything. So practice this, everybody. And I'm just showing you a small fraction of what you can be capable of. All right, so let's just look at your bodies that you draw and ask yourself, how is the tail connecting to the hip? A lot of times I see this. So we'll see let's get it back up here in camera. We'll see a leg. Okay, and the back of the leg, right over here where the tail would come out of the hip, here's what happens. The tail just grows out of the hip. It's just kind of placed on there, almost like a triangle or something. We don't really think about what's happening at the attachment point for the top of the tail, and especially down here at the bottom of the tail. Because remember what's happening underneath there. Okay, we have of course we have the creature's genitals, we have the hip bones, we have the skin, we have the thighs attaching to the tail. So a way to fix that would be, let's say you want to draw the hip, top of the tail, and then it straightens out, almost bows out like this. You don't have to do it exactly like this. No, I'm just giving you an idea of what you could do. Maybe the spine keeps going down and then you have the tail continue here and it gets bigger as it comes out. Now the back of the tail right here, let's say that there's muscles and skin hanging right there, and then you have the tail coming out from that part. So you almost have 1 and then 2 coming in here. Just that little bump right there, because then you can start adding in the muscles for the tail and it looks like it's actually connected to that hip. Just little design cues like that really go a long way. So today's lesson is, it's a rather short one, but I hope that you can get your sketchbooks out and really practice this. Check the links in the description below for our Creature Design Workshop Discord. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you want to enter in some really cool monthly challenges based on briefs that I give, you can do that, of course. Discord's free to join. I've also started my own Patreon, something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I do have tiers that you can subscribe to, but you can also enter my Patreon for free too. The Patreon is a continuation of my YouTube channel, so more in-depth studies that I do not get to show here on YouTube. We have live streams on there, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and I will see y'all later. Peace.